checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
EMA, we're on the air right now. How about that? We're on the air for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if necessary. We've done it before. We'll probably do it again. Okay? We're on the air for you. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Have a great day, guys. We're glad to have you here. Now, guys, we're going to talk about hurricanes tonight, but I've got some other things I need to talk to you about right now. Okay? I want to be able to talk to you about right now because this applies to everybody. What I have to talk to you about applies to everybody, guys. This is important. I don't want anybody to leave unless you have this information down. This is important. Very important. Okay? Now, I want to talk first about something that happened in space. Some of you may say, well, that doesn't apply to me. Yes, it does. Okay? It applies to everybody. But today, the space station had an oxygen leak. An oxygen leak upon the International Space Station. I'm going to put that document up right here. This is a picture of the International Space Station. Okay? They had an air leak on the space station. In space, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal, guys. That's a very huge deal. Now, guys, when that happens, what do those astronauts do? NASA and Russia's Roscosmos Space Agency, these two companies, NASA and Roscosmos, were the station's two primary operators. Okay? Safe haven orders are rare on the International Space Station. Today, however, that turned into an emergency situation. Pieces of space debris collided with the space station. Small changes in air leak rates were triggered in the process in recent years. Astronauts have never had to evacuate ISS in its 27-year history. Want to remember that. Today, an ISS air leak incident. Shelter order and repair efforts today. The International Space Station experienced a worsening air leak on board the Zveta service module. The Zveta service module, guys. This was a Russian segment of the space station. This Russian Zveta, ZVEDAS, the Zveta service module is the right side of this connection to the space station, is a transfer port for the Russian spacecraft. The Russian spacecraft docks at the Zveta portion of the space station, the service module. The service module connects to the International Space Station. This is where the air leak was between. In the airlock area between the space station and the Zveta service module. Okay? As a result, the air leak prompted NASA to order 5 U.S. astronauts in a safe haven aboard the docked SpaceX Crew Dragon Freedom spacecraft. Fortunately, we have the Dragon spacecraft docked to the International Space Station. That's normal. That's completely normal. Now, let me show you a picture of the Dragon spacecraft here. This is the Dragon spacecraft here, docked to the U.S. section of the space station. Okay? The leak was traced to 2 potential crack sites in what they call the PRK tunnel, a section of the Russian segment that was suffered from recurring microscopic cracks over the years. The leak rate was air loss that was relatively minor in size in recent months, but that air leak escalated to 2 pounds per day today. Prior to that was maybe a half pound to a pound of air per day on board the space station. Today it became 5 pounds, up to 5 pounds. Then they reduced it to 2, and then they have relatively taken it into account that's not going to happen again. While Roscosmos and NASA confirmed no immediate threat to crew or systems, the situation was taken seriously due to the potential for rapid deterioration if repairs failed. Russian cosmonauts Sergei Sverikov and Sergei Myakov were using a saw guys, to break into an area where they believed they could access a crack that was leaking air. They used a saw. That's why NASA decided to put their 5 astronauts into the Dragon spacecraft. Okay? They didn't want to take the chance for the all 5 U.S. astronauts to have a problem. NASA directed Crew 12 astronauts Jessica Muir, Jack Hathaway, European agency Sophie Adnot, and Russian cosmonaut Andrei Aveyah, and astronaut Chris Williams into the Crew Dragon spacecraft. That's what they did. Okay? Now this is a picture of the Russian cosmonauts. This is a picture of the U.S. astronauts, except for Chris Williams. Chris Williams arrived to the ISS space station several months ago. Then the present crew that you see pictured here, those 4 astronauts, arrived about a month ago. Okay? Now there are all these astronauts on board. Okay? All 8 of these astronauts are on board. Now, what happened? They transferred all 5 astronauts into the Crew Dragon spacecraft. They donned spacesuits once they got into the Crew Dragon spacecraft. They remained sealed inside the Crew Dragon. The Dragon was kept powered, sealed, and ready to undock within minutes if necessary. within minutes if necessary. Now, I have the information here for you about what happened in space today. Okay, this is the conversation between ground control in Houston and the ISS.
Station Houston on Space to Ground 2 for all USOS crew members. Need you to execute procedure, EMA procedure 3.4, Crew Dragon established safe haven. And if we need to suit up, we will do that once we're inside the Dragon. We will not suit up prior.
Houston Station on 2, we copy all 3.4, no suit up required. We will put that in work.
Good readback.
Okay, that was a conversation between NASA ground control in Houston and the International Space Station with our 5 astronauts. Okay, they did not suit up prior to going into the spacecraft. But once they got onto the Dragon spacecraft, they did suit up. The hatch was sealed. The hatch was sealed between the Dragon and the International Space Station. So in case something happened, they would be able to undock from the International Space Station. That's how serious it was. I'm not pulling any punches here, guys. This was an emergency today. It was a shelter-in-place order inside the Dragon spacecraft. Russian cosmonauts Sergei Kucherkov and Sergei Myakov were working on an extensive repair when NASA paused the operation to assess measurements and data. The first leak was quickly sealed with a 2-component sealing compound, somewhat like epoxy. The second leak on the conical part of the compartment with the Aveyah service module was being prepared for sealing. We've now had a statement from Russia's state space agency, Roscosmos, that reported by Interfax news agency that the crack has been sealed. It said ISS experts have detected 2 oxygen leaks aboard the International Space Station, but there was no immediate threat to the crew. The first leak was completely and quickly sealed. Preparations are currently underway to seal the second one. Roscosmos later said the situation was stable and safe, with pressure maintained at normal levels. About 90 minutes after the shelter order, NASA instructed the crew to exit the Dragon and return to normal operations. The safe haven was lifted once Roscosmos decided to proceed with measurements rather than only the full repair. Again, Roscosmos decided to proceed with measurements only rather than the full repair. The PRK tunnel between the Russian service module and the International Space Station was precautionary response to worsening leak in the known area. The crew was temporarily sheltered in the Dragon spacecraft for safety, but the situation was stabilized and normal operations resumed once repairs were paused for assessment. Okay, so everything's fine in space right now. This has been an ongoing problem for a lot of years. I've been reporting on this about 3 or 4 years ago. I'm reporting on it again. That's how important it is. Okay, now, Bill Virgo says send MacGyver up to space so he can use his duct tape to fix it. Yeah, I can see MacGyver doing that too. Well said, Bill. I appreciate you. You're awesome, Bella. Awesome. Anyway, guys, that's what's been going on in space today. It's been an emergency situation for about 3 hours. 3 hours today. Fortunately, Roscosmos has solved the problem that they had with the one part of the leak that was the majority of the leak. The second leak is going to be taken care of momentarily, I guess. Okay, that's what's happening. Now, we have a lot more to talk about here. In the title of this program, we've had hurricane procedures and hurricane preparedness items we need to talk about. NOAA predicts a below normal 2026 Atlantic hurricane season. Below normal hurricane season. The primary list of the Atlantic hurricane names for the 2022 season, 2026 season will be up in just a second here. Right here. Starting with Arthur, Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo, Hannah, Isaiah, Josephine, Kyle, Leah, Marco, Nana, Omar, Paulette, Renee, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and Wilfred. The National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration says that if they exceed those names, they'll go to Roman numerals. They'll go to Roman numerals, Roman names. Okay, so that is what's happening. Okay, this is the primary list of Atlantic hurricane season names that consists of 21 alphabetical storm names, starting with Arthur, ending with Wilfred. This list is recycled every 6 years. If more than 21 named storms develop during the year, meteorologists will transition to a supplemental list of names rather than just using the Greek alphabet. Additionally, the Eastern Pacific Basin utilizes a separate set of names beginning with Amanda through Zeke. Okay. Already, we also have a storm in the Eastern Pacific Basin off the coast of Baja California, far southwest from Baja California right now. To track developing storms in real time or view detailed forecasts, you need to check the official tropical cyclone names Hurricane Center, NOAA, NOAA.gov, NOAA.gov. NOAA's outlook for the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season, which runs from June 1st to November 30th, predicts a 35% chance of near normal season, a 10% chance of above normal season, and a 55% chance of a below normal season. A 55% chance of a below normal season. The agency is forecasting a total of 8 to 14 named storms, winds of 39 miles per hour or higher. Okay? They're forecasting a total of 8 to 14 named storms, winds of 39 miles per hour or higher. Tropical cyclone names in the Pacific Basin, starting with Amanda, Boris, Christina, and Douglas. Okay? Okay? Amanda through Zeke. Amanda through Zeke. Okay? Already Hurricane Amanda is off the coast of southwest of Baja California. It's already been named as Amanda. It's a Category 1 storm. Now, someone asked me yesterday on my email, can a cruise ship go through a Category 5 hurricane? I'm going to tell you right now, yes. When flights have been canceled, cruise ships cannot stop in the middle of the ocean when there's a storm or a hurricane. Instead, several cruise lines have adjusted their itineraries and routes in recent days to avoid the hurricane. That's what they're doing. They try to adjust their schedule to avoid the hurricane. Now, if you want to let me know what is going on in your mind, you want more information about hurricanes, send me an email to rltnspdema@gmail.com. Send me an email to rltnspdema@gmail.com. Give your current location, where you're at. If you're wanting to track a specific region, If you want to track a specific region, let me know. Okay? If you want a checklist on how to prepare an emergency kit for your hurricane, for your home, let me know that as well. I'll send that to you. Again, send me an email to our email address at rltnspdema@gmail.com. Let me know your location, where you're at, and if you're tracking a specific region, and if you want a checklist on how to prepare for a hurricane or emergency kit, let me know and I'll give you that information. I can help you put together a tailored preparedness plan for yourselves and your family. Please let me know that. Now, Hurricane Heather, right before I went on the air, sent me some information I'm going to give you right now. Now, Hurricane Heather sent me this, and she'd given me this several months ago. I'm giving it to you again. Hurricane forecast storms, 15 hurricanes. 15 hurricanes. 7 major hurricanes. 7 of those will be major hurricanes. 4 will I can't even talk. 4 will reach landfall. There will be 7 major reach landfall. 7 major hurricanes will reach landfall. I'm sorry, that's not true. 7 major hurricanes, out of which 3 will reach land. 3 will reach land. Sorry about that, Heather. Okay, let me repeat that for you so there's no mix-up. The hurricane forecast is that there's going to be 15 hurricanes, 7 major hurricanes. Some of those 15 are going to be major hurricanes, 4 landfalls, 7 major hurricanes with 3 major hurricanes reaching land. 3 of those 4 hurricanes that are scheduled for landfall, 3 of those will be major hurricanes. She doesn't know which ones will be major or where they're going to hit at all. Nobody knows. Now, she did forecast a major hurricane in the Gulf, a Category 3 to Category 5 storm. She did a forecast of major hurricanes in the Gulf, a Category 3 to a Category 5. Okay, that's what Hurricane Heather is saying. Hurricane Heather is an expert on this. Hurricane Heather is an expert on this. Now, I'm going to give you some information you may need to write down. I'm going to give you a few seconds to get your paper and pens ready to go. I'm going to give you some very important information, how you can save yourselves a lot of hurt and anxiety by having this information yourselves. This is important. While I'm giving you this information, please, guys, you see our 2 PayPal locations scrolling across the top of your bottom of your screen here. That's how you can support us, by sending a donation to our PayPal. We'd appreciate that to help keep this program in the air. It's very expensive to keep this program in the air, I found. Okay. When I was told to go on the air, I thought, oh, good, I only have to click into YouTube, learn a few things, and we'll be fine. That's not the case. You need bandwidth to broadcast the program. You need bandwidth. Bandwidth is costly, I found out. I paid $258 a month for bandwidth. I'd appreciate you guys helping to support me in keeping this program on the air. You can send your donations to our PayPal locations here, 2 of them here. 2 of them. PayPal.me/RLTNSPD@hotmail.com. The other one is PayPal.me, EMER, capital MGMT, capital ASSOC 591. That's how you can send us donations to our PayPal. Also, you can send us donations to our post office box, snail mail, 504 Bethel Road, box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. Our zip code is 28655. We'd appreciate that. You can send us cards and letters. We do get cards and letters occasionally. The last one came last week from our friend John and Laura in Oregon. We appreciate that. You can send us a card or letter, and inside that letter, make sure your cash and or your check is wrapped inside your letter. Talk to us about how your family is doing, what you're doing to prepare for emergencies and disasters in your area. We'd like that information. If you want us to share it, we can do that as well. Okay? But inside that card or letter, you can put a check or cash and send it to us. You can do that. We'd appreciate it very much. Okay? I appreciate that. Now let's talk about hurricane do's and don'ts. This is important. Please write this information down. Do number 1, stock up on lots of water. Stock up on lots of water. Okay? Stock up on lots of water. I said it 3 times now. Bella Virgo said in the chat, Ireland and Netherlands and England share names of hurricanes, so the names are Dutch, Irish, and English. Look it up. Thank you for that, Bill. I appreciate that. Again, stock up on lots of water. The Center for Disease Control says they recommend at least 5 gallons of water per person, and I echo that. FEMA says 1 gallon of water per person per day. I don't think that's right at all. Don't think that's correct. It takes more than a gallon of water to survive any type of emergency. You have to have water to drink, you have to have water to cook with, you need water to wash and flush your toilets. That takes more than a gallon. Stock up on at least 5 gallons of water per person per day. You may also want to buy iodine tablets to clean drinking water if you're drinking water from the tap. Here in our house, because the water here tastes very yucky, tastes very, very bad, sometimes our water even has a very bad chlorine smell and taste. We don't drink that. We don't drink it at all. We have bottled water here. I know bottled water is bad for you, but guess what? I'd rather drink it than drink what's coming from the tap. Recently, very bad here last week, I turned on the water to wash a dish out, wash a plate off, and guess what? A lot of chlorine, heavy-duty chlorine. That means something happened to our water here, and they had to add more chlorine. Very bad. You don't want to drink that much chlorine at all. Okay? Next, do make sure you have more than just chips and salsa to eat. Don't just eat chips and salsa. Do not just eat chips and salsa, or bread for that matter. You're going to want to have lots of non-perishable food with nutritional value, especially canned foods. A minimum of a 3 to 5 day supply of food per person. A minimum of 3 to 5 day supply of food per person. Okay? Now, don't ever, well, I'll get into that in a minute. Prepare your house properly is the third one. Prepare your house properly. Clear your yard of furniture or anything else that could blow away. Clear your yard of furniture or anything else that could blow away. Cover your windows and doors using storm shutters or plywood. And stay away from windows and doors during the storm. Stay away from windows and doors during the storm, if you can. Why do I say that? During several hurricanes, I've seen great big huge 2x4s being picked up by the wind and tossed into the side of buildings. 2x4s being picked up by the winds and tossed into the side of buildings and one into a fence. I saw it happen. Unreal. Stay away from windows and doors. If a window's going to break, it's going to break. If the storm picks up a 2x4 or anything else that's outside, picks it up and tosses it out of your house, heaven forbid it's going to go through a window or a door. Windows and doors cannot even withstand that kind of punishment. Make sure your carbon dioxide detector has enough battery life to prevent CO poisoning, to prevent carbon dioxide poisoning. Okay? Be responsible and prepare for the worst. Make sure you have emergency and evacuation plans in place before the storm hits. Make sure you have emergency and evacuation plans in place before the storm hits. Okay? Please do that. Now, communicate these plans with everyone in your house. Communicate your plans with everyone in the house so everybody is well aware what's going to happen if something else goes on. If you have to leave your house, you have an evacuation route to go to drive on. You know you're going to have to get in your car and go. You need to use that car sparingly, though. Okay? Especially if you don't load up on fuel before the storm. Most people do. Communicate your plans with everybody in the house so they know what's going to happen. If you have to have an evacuation, they're very well aware of it ahead of time. You're going to discuss what you're going to do prior to that evacuation and what you're going to do when the evacuation is going to happen. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Find out where the nearest storm shelters are. Find out where the nearest storm shelters are. Most of the storm shelters are at schools. Most of the storm shelters at schools, sometimes the storm shelters are at city, town, and county buildings. Okay? Prepare, prepare, prepare. Get knowledgeable. Check this stuff out ahead of time. Keep track of the storm. Keep track of the storm. I said this, I don't know how many times. Make sure you have an AM, FM weather radio. Don't just listen to music to keep yourself sane. Tune your AM or FM radio to a news talk station, news, weather, and sports station. That way you will get the latest information on what's going to happen, what is happening, and where you're going to have to go, what you're going to have to do. Okay? They put that information on the air because it's important. Also, in this particular case, you can buy an AM, FM weather radio. An AM, FM weather radio. Okay? The weather radio is built so it can have emergency frequencies built into it for your area. Emergency weather frequencies to the National Weather Service built into your area. Frequencies are in this radio. The frequencies are in this radio. On this radio, you can tune into the frequency in your area as soon as you buy your radio, take it home, and tune the radio frequency in your area. You may have to play around with it for a couple of minutes, but you'll be able to find the frequency in your radio that is your frequency for your area. Tune into that so you won't have to fumble around and find it when you're half crazy, when other things are going on. That way you have a direct information area right to the National Weather Service. In an event of a very bad emergency, that your state and your county or city can usurp that frequency to give you up-to-the-minute information about emergency directly in your area. That's the other good thing about this kind of radio. The state, federal, or city governments can usurp this frequency in the event of a national, state, or citywide emergency. That way they can give you the latest information about that. That's important. When you have an AM/FM weather or AM/FM radio, turn your radio to a news talk station. News talk station will have the latest information about news and weather in your area and what you might have to do. It's important. These radios can save your life. In this particular instance, this also has an arm on the back of it to rev it up, turn it on. It's called a dynamo inside this radio. When you operate this, you turn this arm right here and arm the dynamo to generate electricity for this radio. When you generate electricity, you can listen to this radio. Generate electricity, turn it for maybe 30, 45 seconds. That will provide you for about 30 minutes worth of radio listening. Might have to crank it some more to go beyond that, but you'll have current information for your area by turning this dynamo arm for about 30, 45 seconds. This is a great buy. This particular radio cost me $29.95. You can get smaller radios for upwards of $10. You can get really fancy radios for upwards of $50. I got the medium range one and it works just fine. This one also has a flashlight on the side of it here. Also, it has a solar panel right here to charge this radio as well. This is a great radio. I bought it for that reason. These are wonderful radios. If you have a television that your power is still on, or if you have a generator hooked up to your house, you can turn your television on and tune your television to a local news station. Tune your television to a local news station, not music, not HGTV or something like that. Tune your television to a news talk station that will give you the latest information about the hurricanes. That's important. Make sure you have all emergency evacuation plans in place before the storm hits. Communicate those plans with everybody in your house. Find out where the nearest storm shelters are. Keep track of the storm. Have flashlights and extra batteries ready. We have 2 flashlights in our bedroom. We have 3 flashlights downstairs. I have 4 flashlights here in my office in our studio. That's important. Also, make sure your carbon dioxide detector and also your smoke detector have backup batteries. Make sure you have plenty of batteries for your smoke and CO detector. That's important. Now, I want you to also do something else. Be responsible and prepare for the worst. Make sure you have emergency and evacuation plans in place for the storm. Okay? Have extra flashlights and extra batteries ready as well. Build your own or buy a first aid kit. I am a former police officer. I was also an EMT police officer, meaning I went to medical emergencies. I still have a full-blown first aid kit on board our house. I have a full-blown EMT kit right next to the front door. I have several other first aid kits spread throughout our house in case something happens. Make sure you have a first aid kit. That's important. Okay? KDODXN 716 says they got a 4K TV for $29, 50-inch at Sabres. Wow. That's great. Way to go. Goodbye. Now, things you don't want to do. Things you do not want to do. Don't go outside during the storm. This should be a no-brainer. Even a Category 1 hurricane can reach sustained winds of up to 74 miles per hour. Category 5 winds are over 156 miles per hour. Wind speeds like this can turn even small debris into deadly missiles. Now, let me tell you something, guys. This is another thing that's important. I heard a story last year that there was a guy in Florida down in the Keys. He strapped himself to a tree during a hurricane. My gosh, what was he thinking? He strapped himself to a tree during a hurricane. As I said, winds of hurricane pick up all sorts of debris. Can fling him anywhere, including into trees. This guy thought he could get through a Category 3 storm strapped to a tree. Even small debris can be turned into missiles. Even a Volvo station wagon, a Volvo SUV, or any kind of sedan could be pushed by a hurricane wind. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Think about this. Don't do it. Be safe out there. Don't go out in the storm at all. Don't even think about it. The wind speeds that a hurricane has can turn small debris into deadly missiles. Unreal. Yes, Hurricane Heather, that is a true story. Don't be fooled by the eye of the storm either. During the hurricane, there will be a period of calm before the hurricane force winds change direction. As the storm is passing over, there will be an eye of the hurricane. If you look straight up, you're going to see blue sky. But within a matter of minutes, as that storm moves forward, most storms move about 50 miles per hour in any direction. As that storm pushes forward, guess what? All of a sudden that eye will disappear and the winds will change direction. Winds may be blowing in a westerly direction or an easterly direction or north and south. As that hurricane passes over, the hurricane passes over, the wind directions will change. Hurricane force winds will return in the opposite direction. Number 2, you don't do. Don't grill indoors. Don't go outside to grill either. Stay indoors. Do not grill indoors at all. If your power goes out, don't be tempted to throw steaks on the barbie. Indoors or outdoors. Charcoal or gas grills release deadly levels of carbon monoxide. Charcoal or gas grills can release deadly levels of carbon monoxide in your home. Don't do it. There's a guy that lives here in the same complex I do. He had a barbecue grill, and now it's unlawful to have a barbecue grill on your premises here. Unlawful. He had a barbecue grill in his home, but he had that barbecue grill right next to a window. The window allowed that deadly carbon monoxide poison into his house, and he almost died. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Even if you have a barbecue grill outside, put it far enough away from your house or those deadly gases won't come blowing into your house in the breeze. Don't do it. Don't bring your grill indoors either. Okay? Another don't. And I see this all too often during hurricanes. People like to have hurricane parties. Don't drink non-bottled or untreated water. Don't drink alcohol. Don't drink non-bottled or untreated water. Floodwaters are often filled with bacteria and other contaminants, including sewage. Don't drink tap water. Also, don't drink any water that's been exposed to floodwater, including bottled water. If your bottled water has been exposed to floodwater, guess what? The contaminants that are on the outside of the bottle, put those to your lips and you're going to get sick right now. The FDA has tips on how to make your tap water safe to drink. I've already told you, get iodine tablets. Get iodine tablets and have unscented bleach. Again, unscented bleach on hand in your home. 1 teaspoon into a gallon of water will help purify the water in that gallon of water. But you need to let it sit for about 30 minutes before you drink it or use it. You want to sit for about 30 minutes to let that bleach smell, the scent of bleach, to disappear from the water. Okay? Again, make sure it's unscented bleach. Don't drink alcohol. I repeat, I said it I don't know how many times already. Don't drink alcohol during a hurricane. You never know when you're going to have to evacuate at a moment's notice or have to deal with a life-threatening emergency. Don't drink alcohol. I don't know how many times I've seen families have a hurricane party in their homes. Don't drink alcohol. Don't do it. You're going to have to deal with a life-threatening emergency at some point in time. You're going to want to have your faculties all about you. You're going to want to have your wits about you, guys. This is important. You're going to want to have your wits about you when you're about to have a hurricane raging around you. Your lives and others can depend on it, yours included. That's why some jurisdictions, especially in Florida, and even Georgia and Alabama, ban alcohol sales prior to a hurricane. That's true. Hurricane Heather says also follow mandatory evacuation orders. Follow mandatory evacuation orders. That's very important. Some jurisdictions will have mandatory evacuation orders, and they'll have gymnasiums and schools open up to have hurricane evacuation area there. That means they can help protect you. Follow all evacuation orders that are issued. Pay attention to your radio, pay attention to your television. Your lives and lives of others, including your own, will depend on. Okay? Now, again, do stock up on lots of water. Make sure you eat more than just chips and salsa. Prepare your house properly. Clear your yard of furniture or anything else could blow away. Cover your windows and doors using storm shutters or plywood. Stay away from windows and doors during the storm. Make sure your carbon dioxide and smoke detectors have enough battery life to prevent CO2 or carbon monoxide poisoning. Be responsible, prepare for the worst. Be responsible, prepare for the worst. That's the best slogan ever. That's the best slogan ever. Make sure you have emergency and evacuation plans in place before the storm hits. Again, communicate those plans with everyone in your home or your business. I understand some people might get held in their business where they work. Make sure if you have emergency and or evacuation plans for your business, make sure everybody that works there has that information. Communicate those plans with everyone. Find out where your nearest storm shelter is. Keep track of the storm. Have flashlights and extra batteries ready. Build or buy your own first aid kit. Build or buy your own first aid kit. Does anybody have any questions? I'm happy to take questions from anybody in the chat. Renee Seppi says she was dumb enough to attend a hurricane party off the North Carolina coast. It wasn't fun. Conditions during hurricanes can change without warning. Absolutely they can, especially if you're off the coast on a barrier island. Things can change within minutes, literally within minutes. The hurricane winds can change. Water levels being pushed by the wind off the ocean can change within seconds, literally. 1 minute, the sand below you might be dry or semi-dry. The next minute, you might be flooded with water. Unfortunately, keep your wits about you. Don't drink alcohol and stay in a safe place. Stay above the water. Stay above the water. Stay away from windows and doors. That's very important. Hurricane Heather says she has a nana on the list. She's a nana. Guys, make sure if you're parents, make sure if you're grandparents. If you have grandparents, make sure they're safe. Have grandparents, make sure they're safe. If you have kids around, make sure they're safe. If your kids are away from you, make sure your kids and your grandkids are safe. Check in with them. Check in with them. Laura Marie is here with John. She says, hello, Ron, Mods, and EMA family. It's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. At 9:30 this morning, I declared it's Saturday. I declared it's the weekend. 9:30 this morning, I declared the weekend. I can do that. I can do that. As one of my grandkids says, you're the dada. I'm the boss. Yeah. True story. True story. I want to thank everybody that's been here. Do you guys have any questions about hurricanes and or emergencies? Again, if you want information specific to you, send me an email to rltnspdema@gmail.com and send me your information, where you're at, where your location is, and specific information about what you want to know about, or you want to know what storm's coming in, whatever it's going to be. Send me specific information, and if you want information about preparedness, I will send that as well. Ask me specific questions, guys. I want to be able to do a good service to you and make sure you can do that. Okay. Now, again, Hurricane Heather says something that's good. I forgot to mention this. Treat every warning as a hurricane season. Treat every warning, whether it's a tornado or a severe thunderstorm warning, treat it as a tornado warning. It's important. Hurricanes on the bands of the hurricane can fling off thunderstorms and tornadoes. As a hurricane comes in, those outer bands of the hurricane can spin off tornadoes and great big huge major thunderstorms. Treat every watch as a warning during hurricane season. Treat every watch as a warning during hurricane season. Tornadoes can hide in hurricanes. Tornadoes can hide in hurricanes, guys. Those great big huge thunderstorms are spinning off in the hurricane. Those thunderstorms can spin up tornadoes as well. We saw it last year. We've seen it every year since I've been doing this. Tornadoes can spawn off of any hurricane. Okay? Be safe out there. Any more questions? Thank you, Renee, and thank you, Heather. Appreciate that. Any more questions or comments here? Any more questions or comments? Again, right in front of you, I have the names for the 2026 hurricane in the Atlantic Basin. Okay, from Arthur to Wilfred. Okay, again, they're saying that we may not have as many hurricanes this year as we've had previously. That's what they're telling us. Okay. Hurricane Heather says we're probably going to have about 15 hurricanes, some of those major, 4 hurricanes making landfall, 4 hurricanes making landfall, 7 major hurricanes, 3 of those hurricanes making landfall, 3 major hurricanes reaching the land. Other hurricanes might hit. But 3 of those major hurricanes will make landfall. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Hurricane Heather says she loves Renee, and she's so happy to be doing this hurricane season with Renee. Both of these women have their own Facebook Messenger. It's very good. Fires and storms, weather and fires, guys, on Facebook Messenger. If you want more information about storms, go there. Go there. They have great information about storms and also about fires as well. Okay. And Heather's does cover the East and West Coast at all times. I've seen it. Heather's great. Both Heather and Renee are wonderful. They're great. Any other questions, guys? Okay, if there's no other questions, I'm going to end this very soon here because I want to get you out of here and have a good weekend. I want you to have a wonderful weekend, guys. It's important. Always important to have a good weekend. Now, again, we've talked about these things before. At the end of our programs, we always want to talk about a thought. We want to be able to lift your minds up. We want to be able to improve everybody's lives, okay? In John chapter 16, verse 7, nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you. But if I depart, I will send him unto you. And when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin, and of righteousness, and of judgment. Jesus Christ there is talking about the Holy Ghost. He's gone away from us. He's no longer in our midst unless we ask for his name. We can ask for him and he will be with us. We'll send the comforter of the Holy Ghost to help us. Remember that. Always remember that. Prayer. Prayer will change night into day. Prayer will give you everything. Prayer will give you everything, guys. I know that. I've experienced it. Go to God. Go to God. Now, guys, I've also said this. Jesus Christ said this first. I've said it many other times since. You are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. I'm not commanding you to do anything. I'm asking you. I'm asking you to be prepared. I'm asking you to do the things the Lord would have you do. I'm asking you to do the things your family would have you do. Be safe out there. Be a leader. Be a leader, guys. Be a leader. I want you to have a wonderful day, guys. If anything else happens tonight, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. All the time. All the time, literally. If something happens during the day or night, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. This weekend's the same thing. Tonight or tomorrow or anytime, something happens that's major, we'll be back on there to tell you about it. Now, guys, there was only one big earthquake I want to talk about right now. I forgot to tell you about it earlier. There was one earthquake down in the South Pacific I want to tell you about. Happened today. Let's go down here to the South Pacific. And we have another one south of, you see that dot at the bottom here? Just south of New Zealand there? That just happened, it's red. This one that's out in the South Pacific Ocean happened about 9:40 a.m. this morning. This was a 5.5 earthquake when it hit. This is a 5.5 very large earthquake when it hit. USGS downgrade to 5.3. Down here on the Antarctic Ridge. The South Pacific Antarctic Ridge here. This earthquake is going to probably go over to the east here and continue over here into southern Chile here. Into southern Chile here, or go over here into the South Sandwich Islands down here. It's possible. I believe that's where it's going to go. Okay. Now, this earthquake just hit south of New Zealand down here. South of New Zealand here. Okay. This just hit. This is a very large 5.6 earthquake. Very large 5.6 earthquake, also on the Antarctic Ridge, south of New Zealand, in the Bellini Islands region. In the Bellini Islands region here, on the Antarctic Ridge here. Beware of it. Beware of it. This earthquake can either go east along the Antarctic Ridge, or it could go over here along the Antarctic Ridge and fall into the Indian Ocean here and go up the center of the Indian Ocean here, up the Carlsberg Ridge here, into either Saudi Arabia or go up into Iran. Okay? That's a large earthquake. That's a large earthquake, guys. I believe this earthquake will go westbound into the Indian Ocean. 5.6 earthquake here in the Bellini Islands, south of New Zealand here, on the Antarctic Ridge here. Now we have another earthquake over here I want to talk about, because this earthquake also happened here just recently, in the last little while. Southern Mexico. southern Mexico. Look where's that? It's in the foothills of southern Mexico. Foothills of southern Mexico, south of Acapulco. This is a large 5.1 earthquake. A large 5.1 earthquake, 29 miles deep. 21 miles deep. Not a big deal. However, it is a large earthquake here. 5.1 earthquake. There are towns around here. There are towns around here, guys. These towns felt this earthquake. These towns felt this 5.1 large earthquake. There's going to be damage here. The towns here are people that don't have a lot of money. They live very frugally. They have very little money. There's going to be damage to their homes, damage to businesses in this area. Unfortunately, that's going to happen. If I get information more about this, I'll give that information to you on a later broadcast. I'll keep track of that. Now, it's very sad. Down here off the coast of southern Mexico, right at the border near Guatemala, this is a 4.3 earthquake here. 4.3 earthquake here. Moderate earthquake. 60 miles south of San Francisco del Mar, Viejo, Mexico. 60 miles south of San Francisco del Mar, Viejo, Mexico. Off the coast. Nobody felt this earthquake. It was a moderate earthquake offshore. The ocean waters here absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. Quite different than this earthquake that just hit here, the foothills of the mountains here along the coastline of southern Mexico. That's pretty bad. This is going to be bad. They're not showing the other earthquakes here, but I'm sure there are at least 40 other earthquakes here in southern Mexico today. Sure of it. Sure of it. We have no earthquakes whatsoever up here in the Pacific Northwest. This earthquake here just happened in Northern California, just off the coast here, 2 miles west of Petrolia, California, on the San Andreas Fault. This is a minor 2.7 earthquake. Minor 2.7 earthquake here on the northern San Andreas Fault off the coast of Petrolia, California. That is the only earthquake that they are reporting here in the Pacific, I shouldn't say Pacific Northwest. This isn't the Pacific Northwest. This is down here in the Cascade Subduction Zone region. This is in the Cascade Earthquake Subduction Zone region. Okay. There are earthquakes here in Washington. There are earthquakes here in Oregon. Unfortunately, USGS is not talking about all the earthquakes here. Up here in northern Washington, Waukon, Washington, 1.4 tremor here. This is a surface quake here. Actually, it is not. USGS is reporting this as a surface quake. This happens to be 4 miles deep. It's not a surface quake at all. This is a 1.1 tremor here, Maple Valley, Washington. This earthquake was in Snoqualmie, Washington here. You folks that are in Snoqualmie or anywhere near here, if you felt rumbling, tell me about it. Send me a message and tell me about it. I want to know. This earthquake right here is a 1.6 tremor here, Great View, Washington. This earthquake that's over here in the Western Peninsula, this is a 1.4 near Aberdeen Gardens, Washington. Unreal. They have not reported any earthquakes at Mount Rainier at all today. This earthquake right here, northwest of Mount St. Helens, 0.7 microquake here. It's in the foothills. Actually, it's not even the foothills. It's on the side, the north side of Mount St. Helens. 0.7 microquake on the foothills or in the mountain, the upper mountainside of Mount St. Helens volcano. Unreal. For the south here, this is just south of the Washington border here in Oregon. 1.7 tremor here, 4 miles south of Scappoose, Oregon. 4 miles south of Scappoose, Oregon. 1.7 tremor. There are earthquakes at Mount Hood. There are earthquakes at St. Helens. There are earthquakes at Mount Rainier. Earthquakes up and down the entire, both states here. USGS not reporting them at all. Sad. Sad. Now, guys, I hope you have a good night and better tomorrow. Like I said, if anything else happens, we'll come on the air and tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Until then, hope you have a good night. We'll be back on the air with our Sunday School program about 12:30 Sunday afternoon with Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. We're studying the Old Testament. We're going through the latter chapters of Judges. Guys. So be here with us. We'd love to have you. We're also going to be studying Ruth in the last chapter of Judges. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you again on Sunday for sure, if not before that. Take care, everybody. God bless you all. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Take care, everybody. Much love. See you soon.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.